Insulin might be the reason you're still holding on to stubborn belly fat. So we're actually going to take a look at what insulin does, its function and role within the human body. Now, the primary function of insulin is to promote the storage of nutrients, and these nutrients are directed towards either fat cells or muscle cells. And the timing in which insulin is triggered across the day and the type of food and drink that you consume, as well as the activity that you engage in, will influence whether it goes towards the fat cells or muscle cells. But what we need to understand is that insulin is released from eating carbohydrates. So that's going to trigger the biggest release of insulin. And I want you to think of insulin as this taxi. It comes out into the blood and it picks up the passengers. For now, we're just going to call them carbohydrates. And these carbohydrates are then taken from the blood and into two different types of cell, whether it's a muscle cell or whether it's a fat cell. When we eat protein, that's got a moderate trigger of insulin. So these two macronutrients will affect the amount of insulin that is produced in order to promote the storage of those macronutrients or nutrients. Incretins, they are just gut hormones, things like GLP-1. Therefore, that is also going to promote the secretion of insulin. Now, insulin is anti-catabolic, which means it's going to preserve muscle during exercise. We don't want to be in a catabolic state when we are resistance training. Otherwise, guess what? You're going to break down muscle tissue and, hey, you're not going to build muscle. It turns off fat burning, though. So whenever we have the spike of insulin, lipolysis and fat oxidation is going to be blocked. Therefore, you're not going to be in a fat loss state. You're going to be in a storage state. It amplifies mTOR. Now, mTOR is the muscle growth signal. So we would say that insulin is an anabolic hormone. And finally, it suppresses growth hormone. So if you are eating food before you sleep, which is containing carbohydrate or protein, well, growth hormone is actually going to be suppressed. There are many other functions of insulin, but as a whole, the timing in which you trigger insulin across the day will dictate whether those nutrients are pushed towards muscle cells or towards fat cells.